Hey guys, welcome to the Recap Podcast. My name is David, and I'm the youth pastor here at Victory Church, Oklahoma City, where we meet every Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. and Sundays at 10:30 a.m. We are here to talk about what God is doing in our lives in the youth ministry and to recap on what happens at our gatherings. Now, let's check out our next episode.
What's up, everybody? We're back on the Recap Podcast today. Special guest, Pastor Gary.
Woo! Ta-da!
It's the jazz hands that really scare you sometimes.
Oh, come on.
Last night on Wednesday night, we had a little service where we asked him questions and he answered them or tried his best to answer them. And there were some pretty hard questions. And today it'll be kind of be like a continuation of that. Mm-hmm. Just apologetics, defending your faith.
Yeah.
So
we have Pastor Gary with us. Salute to the Preston Ortiz.
Preston.
And you know my name, David here, Pastor David. But yeah, Pastor Gary, thank you for being here.
Thank you. For sure.
What do you like about the youth service last night?
Me?
Yeah, you.
One of the best things was how engaged each one of the students were. So if you're watching, way to go. Y'all were asking great questions, and there was hardly anybody like having side conversations. It was brilliant. Loved it.
Okay. Oh, I'm glad that's over. That was the tough question. I was just kidding. But Preston got a tough question. Preston, what do you have for us?
I have a very tough question.
Uh-oh.
If you were to turn into a grain.
A what?
A grain.
A grain.
A type of grain. What would be your least favorite type of grain if you were a grain? Like with your other grain people, which type of grain would be your least favorite?
Man, I only know like a few types of grain.
I would say hemp because I don't want a whole bunch of hippies just to be hanging out with me.
Okay. I mean, that's a good answer.
That's your least type of grain?
That's my least. My favorite, he didn't ask, it's quinoa or quinoa or quinoa. I don't know. But quinoa would be my favorite.
Quinoa would be my least.
Least favorite? It's like
We're
rice.
gonna
I'm just
fight.
kidding.
Rice, but good.
You got a problem with the complete protein that's also a grain?
Quinoa is good
Wow.
grain. It's a good grain. My least would be white grain. Normal white grain. Yeah.
What is that?
White rice. I don't know. I don't know. I like jasmine.
Jasmine rice.
Does your wife know about jasmine?
She does.
Okay.
Ooh.
She talks about jasmine all the time.
So
We should make jasmine rice, honey.
You stole my answer. I was going to say that. I was going to say the white grain because that's like all that popped up in my brain.
You should say, oh, you know what? Okay, fine. You can take.
Because I do like jasmine rice too.
You can take white. I would say brown. Brown
Okay.
grain.
There we go. Brown
I
rice.
do not like
Garbage.
brown. Yeah.
Mm.
Don't eat it.
Yeah. How about you, Preston?
I mean, I like grains. Grains are good, but I'd say like I like the bread, but like the grain bread, and then on like the sides of the bread, you have those like big pieces of like grain and all that stuff. I don't think I would just pick that out and eat by itself. Probably that. Just all of like the weird like variety of grains in the side of the bread.
You are not talking to the Wonder Bread generation right now. You're like an Ezekiel bread kind of guy, aren't
Hey,
you?
the bread tastes good.
You are Ezekiel bread.
I would pick it out individually though.
Like the Caesar and the burger things on the.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Preston's another.
Preston's paycheck is different than mine.
His paycheck is way
Yeah,
different than mine.
that's for sure.
Oh, that's good. No, man, love that question. Preston. So if you're watching this podcast, episode 7, I believe, we did something different and new yesterday. We got Pastor Gary to come on to the youth service, and he was an open mic question, right? It was basically apologetics, just like what Preston said. So if you have questions and you're watching this podcast right now, and you go to Victory Youth, we would love put your comments. Questions about the Bible, we'll get Pastor Gary to answer them. We'll get Pastor Gary to answer
Why
them.
don't you step up? Answer some questions, David.
That's why I'm here to guide the situation and invite a guest speaker, and there we go, man. That's my job.
Truly enjoy the bus that I was just thrown underneath, and it felt fantastic.
No, I'm here to help too. I'll help my best. I'll do my best. Pastor Gary, I'm here to help. No, but if you have and you're watching this podcast, comment. You know, if you've got questions, genuine questions, we don't want to pick a fight, but if you have genuine questions about your faith, about the Bible, about God, we got you. We got you.
I'll pick a fight too if they want to do that. Let's go.
There you go. You hear it from the man
gloves
himself.
Gloves are on. Ding, ding. Let's do it.
We just need to get a boxing ring. Right? I heard it's cheap. We can get one like $300. I got connections right now.
If anything would bring people to church, that would bring people to church.
Oh my goodness.
People would love that stuff.
Honestly.
Can you believe your pastor is welcoming fights in the church? That's not me. I'm just saying. No, but we should do an event about maybe one night. Ding, ding, ding. One night, fight for God.
Yeah.
Fight for your faith. Hey, that's a good one, right?
Oh, that's a good
No.
good topic. Fight for your faith.
Yeah. Fight for your faith.
I'll
So we
write
had
that
Pastor
down.
Gary on. We're going to make this time where we ask questions for Pastor Gary here. Like Preston Slota is going to be here to, ask questions. I will ask some questions for Pastor Gary. Easy questions.
Yes.
Very easy questions. My first question for Pastor Gary, and then feel free, to ask Pastor Gary. I heard you used to be a youth pastor.
Yes, that is correct.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't count because I was a youth pastor in a different country.
Oh.
So there. That's right.
But I mean, it still counts because you're a youth pastor.
I guess. But yeah, it was overseas. So
Where at?
I was in Italy as a youth pastor.
Wow.
You know some Italian?
See.
Okay, say something in Italian right now.
This guy's legit.
Yeah.
Queste podcast è molto bene.
The podcast is really good.
You speak Italian?
Questo è perfetto.
Well, welcome back to the Recap Podcast, Secret Talents.
No.
You speak Italian?
No.
I'm shocked right now.
Well, that was Italian. No. It means no.
No, that's good. So, you've pastor for how long in Italy?
Just 2 years.
Okay.
Yep, 2 years in Italy.
What do you like about being in a youth ministry?
It's impacting the future.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think youth are just leaders of tomorrow. They're leaders today, but they are also the future of our church.
Awesome.
And so if we're not strengthening and equipping our youth, then we are literally saying that we don't care about our church.
Yeah.
We don't care about the next generation. And so I have a love for equipping every single generation to take one step closer to Christ.
Yeah, wow, that's good. I love that. So, if you don't know, Pastor Gary is used to be a youth pastor.
I'm a recovering youth pastor.
I know.
It wasn't the youth, it was really the parents.
Oh, I know the torment. Yeah.
If you're a parent and you're listening to this, it's not you.
Support
It's
your youth
another
pastor.
kid's
Support
parents.
or support your youth pastor. If you're a parent not from this church or from somewhere, support a youth pastor, right? Yeah. We need love. That goes through.
I feel like this podcast right now is a cry of help for Pastor David over here.
Help, Jesus. I always cry out to God for help, Psalms 42, 142. Come on, let's go. There you go. Before we get Preston and Slota to ask a question, I did ask a question last night, just to let all of you know on the podcast. I asked Pastor Gary, why is it so important for us to go to church? And I want you to hear from Pastor Gary himself, and it was a very good answer.
Well, one for me to answer that is I don't think we can actually go to church. I think it's impossible because the church is not a building. It never was a building. And the moment that we think of that, we're already doing things wrong. We are the church, the gathering of believers, the saints. We are the church. So it's really, we need to gather together in order to be equipped for the work of the ministry.
Yeah.
And we're instructed through God's word for this day, especially as the days are continually getting more and more evil, that we gather all the more.
That's right. So will you say circles? Circles are church? I mean, circles is the church.
I mean, Jesus had a circle, so we should probably have one of those too.
So join a circle. Yeah. That was good. That was a recap there for you all, what Pastor Gary shared. How about you all? Preston, Slota, ask away.
I know one of the most common questions for unchristians or Christians that just are doubting their faith is, why do good things happen to bad people? Or why do bad things happen to good people?
Oh, man. Yeah. It's because life is horrible and we move on. No, I'm just kidding. My main response to that, honestly, is I do not know. I don't know. What I do know is that God never designed it that way. He designed this world perfect, but we as man, we read about a story in the book of Genesis how Adam and Eve, they sinned, and when they sinned, they allowed wickedness, they've allowed death, destruction into this world. And what we see is also a whole bunch of good happening to bad people, but then bad is happening to good people. So what is beautiful about it, especially for the people that aren't believers, people that are actually like, man, they do some serious wicked things and good things happen, that is a common grace that God gives to the whole world, which is crazy to think about. But then at the end of the day, what we have to recognize is those bad things, what they can do for us if we're that good person. And if you're a good person, great, you're probably better than I am. But God is going to work out all those bad things for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose.
And I would also, like, that just goes with what you say, with what you said, like, none of us are good people. We're all terrible people.
Yeah.
We just have a sliver of hope. That is Jesus, to be saved and to be righteous. And so, like, why do bad things happen to good people? Well, like, I heard this, why do bad things happen to good people? There was only one, and he volunteered. I know, it's really good. And
Preach
so,
it.
like, we do not deserve good. We deserve all the evil that is happening to us. And so we can only be thankful that he took that evil so we can go to heaven.
That's real, because there's a lot of people that, and they might even put on the name of Christian, like, well, I'm a good person, so good things should definitely happen to me. And then bad things happen, and they're like, well, God must not care about me. Like, well, hold on there, son. Like, take it down a few notches, Skid Row, and recognize. I love what you said, is like, we all do wicked. All of us.
Yeah.
We like to say it's not like, oh, no, I was just, that was just a mistake. Well, it's still wicked. And so we deserve, like, something that I like to tell people is, because they go, oh, Gary, that sounds so horrible. You didn't deserve all that. And I go, I deserve hell. That's what I deserve. But because of Christ and because of his sacrifice, I get what I don't deserve. And I'm so thankful for that.
That's good.
Yeah. So it was actually funny because we were, after church, this whole thing happened because my friend texted me, and she's like, she was a Catholic, but then she kind of stepped out of it. And then now she comes here, and she's like she's very curious about what is this, because like she says this is like so different than where she used to, like what they used to do at Catholic church. And she asked me this one question that stunned me, and I was like beating myself up about it because like oh, I say I'm a Christian, but I couldn't answer this question, and it was so like sad for me. Like how do I say, like, I know we're not going to have it all. We're not going to always have the answers, and we need to be humble. But she asked me this question that I need, like, I don't know. But she was like, how do we know if the Bible is, like, true? Like, and I didn't know how to answer that, because if I would answer it, then it would be with Scripture. But that's, like, why she's asking. Like, how do I know the Scripture that I'm telling her is true? And she wants to know, like, is God true? Like, is God's word on like is it on solid grounds? And that's what I was like, I couldn't answer that. I didn't know how to.
David, you look like you wanted to say something right there.
Yeah.
No,
You just put the mic up just
I
for
just put it
fun.
right. I'm like, that's a good question. That's a good question. That's a good question.
I think it really is, because people will look at us, a lot of non-believers will look at us and go, how can you trust this book? It's 2,000-year-old ancient document, and apparently there's all these contradictions, which really fun. There's absolutely zero contradiction in the Bible, which, like, Genesis to the maps, zero contradiction in the Bible. But how can you trust it? One of the ways that I would say is that it's historically accurate. There had been one archaeological dig after another to disprove the Bible, and there was so much funding from a whole bunch of different organizations going into these archaeological digs to disprove the Bible, but they kept going, oh no, we just keep proving what the Bible's saying is exactly accurate. So it's historically accurate. What's beautiful is it's also scientifically accurate. No, it's not a science textbook. So you'll read something like, oh, the sun rose and the sun set, and if people get all up in arms like, oh no, it doesn't, that's technically not right. I get it, but our meteorologists say the same thing, and we don't get angry with them. But the Bible is scientifically accurate. It's actually really fun when we see science start catching up to the Bible. One really fun one, if I can throw it out there, is George Washington, first president, right? Public school education, yes?
I know.
Yeah, okay.
I know George
All right.
Yeah.
So he died because of bloodletting, because people used to believe like, oh man, if you're sick, that means you have bad blood, so we have to get the bad blood out. Well, after they got rid of like 3/4 of his blood, he died. And if they would have just looked in the Bible, we read that there's life in the blood. So the Bible is historically accurate. It's scientifically accurate. It's also prophetically accurate. So you look at the different prophecies that are in the Bible, and you see time and time again, they come to pass. And what I love is God even put a test in there of a prophet. Like if someone said that they were a prophet, he put a test. He said none of their prophecies can be wrong. If their prophecy, if they give 1,000, but all of a sudden there's one that's wrong, he says you don't have to fear them. In fact, you stone them to death. So God is also saying that about all the prophecies that are in his book, and every single one of them so far have come to pass. Even the book of Daniel, if you read about that, really neat, is a lot of historians and other people that are opposed to the Christian faith, they try to attack when the book of Daniel was actually written, because so many things fall in line perfectly with what he prophesied about. So the Bible, historically accurate, scientifically accurate, prophetically accurate. There's another one that I like to put in there, and I get it's a long answer, but I think if the Bible is the foundation of truth for us, we can give a little bit of time for this. So I like to think there's fingerprints of God in it. So if you look at Genesis and Exodus, so the first two books of the Bible, if you look at it in the actual Hebrew language, and if you have ChatGPT, guys, go on and check this out. Look at the Hebrew language. So every 49 letters, you'll have a T, an O, an R, and an H. So for the Hebrew language, it spells Torah. Every 49 letters. So Genesis and Exodus, it has that. And then Leviticus, it doesn't have it. So you're like, oh, thank God, because the likelihood of that happening is astronomical. But then you go in and you see Numbers and Deuteronomy, and all of a sudden it's Torah spelled backwards. So you're like, okay, hold on. So we have Torah spelled forward, Torah spelled backwards, and there's one book in the middle, Leviticus. What does that have? Well, every 49 letters is Yod He Vod He. So the whole Torah points to Jehovah, God himself, which, again, is there something crazy significant about it? I don't think there's something significant, but I think it's a fingerprint of God going, if you would have even taken out one chapter, one verse that you didn't like that was in this thing, it wouldn't have done that. And so it's God anticipating hostile jamming as he's sending out this message to his children. So that's something that I find absolutely beautiful. And there's so many of those all throughout the Bible, but guys, check that out. Like, you can do a search on ChatGPT. I did it because I thought it would be fun, and it all pointed there. So it even has God's fingerprint. The next reason why I say that we could trust the Bible is you look at the Gospels. Look at the Gospel accounts, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And you see these, and even there's a guy out there who he's a big skeptic of the Christian faith. His name's Bart Ehrman. He even goes in, he's this big, smart scholar guy. He goes, if you look at all the accounts, he's not a Christian, he's an atheist. If you look at the Gospel accounts, he said, there is not one bit of evidence that points away from Jesus being the Messiah, Jesus being God. But he still has a perspective that that's not true. But even him, a skeptic, an atheist, says there is no evidence that points away from Jesus being who he said he was. So big answer for why we can trust the Bible, but what we can look at with those 66 books is that it is 100% accurate.
That's good.
That's really good.
Thank you.
There are historians. I mean, if you go off with, well, the historians, they're smarter than I am, and they're atheists. Well, those same historians that are like there are written documents that they regard as true, like Socrates, like all of these philosophers, like Aristotle, that they regard as true. That there might be like one or two like copies of it. Whenever the Bible, like how many copies of it and how many like they regard these ones as true, but like if you regard those as true, you have to regard the copies of the Bible as true, because nothing points away from it. Like nothing points away from it.
So you're talking about the manuscript evidence.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are thousands of manuscripts of the Bible, and like matching up perfectly. Like there's no way.
So you're saying this is for the skeptics that are out there like, well, the Bible's been corrupted, and it's been changed and translated and translated and translated, so there's surely something missing. And Preston, you're right on. There's over 500 or 5,600 manuscripts or pieces of manuscripts. And let's say those weren't even in existence. They disappeared, fire, whatever, they're gone. The early church fathers, like we're talking first century church fathers, they had quoted in all of their writings the entire Bible except for like 2 verses. I don't know which ones those are, but 2 verses. So we would be able to literally rewrite the Bible just based on what the early church fathers had written. So, man, the manuscript evidence, it's there. And yeah, the only closest historical document that we have that is even close with 900 something is Homer's Iliad. That's it. Nothing compares in all historicity. Nothing compares to the manuscript evidence of the Bible itself. Yeah. Way to go. That's right.
That's good.
Okay, one more. I have another question. Okay, hopefully this is an easy one for you. But so new to faith, and you come to church. They tell you like in different ways to pray, read your Bible, build a relationship with Jesus. What are ways that you can explain to these youths that are brand new to faith, brand new to church? They just come here for games and food. What can you explain to our generation and people that are in your generation how to step into faith and how to just take that first step?
So new to faith, they've just given their life to Jesus type deal?
Yeah.
Okay. So if that's you, the time of like going back and forth on the fence of do I go all in with Christ or do I just kind of do it? That time's done. And it's absolutely scary to be all in for Christ and have people consider you a freak. Like literally, they will consider you just absolutely crazy, lost your mind. But I want to encourage you to do that. In fact, it's better for you. Because so often what happened with me when I was in high school is that I said I was a Christian, but I lived as if God wasn't even there. I said it last night, is that people that act like that, they're Christian atheists. They believe that God exists, and they say that God exists, but they live as if he's not even real. So my encouragement to you is live as if Christ is real. Live as if that sacrifice for you truly happened, because friend, it did. And if you do that, you're going to start telling your friends about it. Yeah. You're going to start ending relationships. Guys, girls, you're dating somebody, you're probably going to stop that relationship because you know it's not honoring God. It's tough, and there's going to be some people that are crying, people that are angry with you. I've lost friends. I've lost family because of the position that I chose. I chose to be on God's side, chose to obey the Bible, and go, you know what? I know that's popular. I know that's the thing to do right now, but I just can't do it. Why? Well, because I'm choosing a better way. It's not that you think you're better than them. No way. You'll be told that, but it's not like you're better than them. Instead, it's you're choosing a better path. It's a harder path. And I don't want to dance around that. And like you guys can see, like I got my serious eyes, my serious voice. But so often I think we kind of shy away from it. And we don't want to share because, well, what if someone asks me a question that I don't know the answer to? You know what? Don't even worry about that right now. Worry about actually being focused on God, focused on obeying his word. Because here's the crazy part. You can't please everyone. Like, chances are I can't please, like, just 3 of you in here. I can't please all y'all perfectly. But there's a perfect, holy God that has shown us what pleases him and what displeases him. So you know what? If I have the choice to please you guys or to please my Father in heaven, I'm going to choose him. And so again, I'm a talkative person and I give long answers.
There you go.
But friends, at the end of the day, follow Jesus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Turn away from anything else that distracts you. There was a girl last night that asked about that. She asked about, can I love somebody? Another person, can I be in a relationship with somebody if they don't love God? The answer is no, you can't, unless that relationship is solely you trying to win them for Christ. But you're not like doing a date evangelism thing.
Missionary dating.
No missionary dating here. Like that's
I think
wrong.
that's really interesting how you said Christian atheists, not atheistic Christians, because that's a big difference, and I think you nailed it.
Come on. It's real, and I used to be that. So that's why like I'm not coming and judging people. That was me, and so I see it in so many people. And And gosh, in high school and middle school, it is so hard, I think, to follow Jesus because your school and your friends, chances are, they are trying to pull you in every other way except for Christ.
Yeah.
He was countercultural when he was on this earth. He's still countercultural now. So look at his word. Just look at the gospel accounts and then do this. Ask yourself the question, is Jesus reliable? And if your answer is yes, then do everything that you can to follow him. Now, if you have a worldview that it's opposing to Christ, at least know why you believe it. Don't just let TikTok be the ruling authority in your life.
Yeah.
Like, go, okay, nope, I'm going to choose to be an atheist. Okay, give the evidence for why that's valid.
That's right.
Give evidence. And it's just going to be hearsay. It's going to crumble. It's going to be a straw man argument time and time again. Follow Christ wholeheartedly.
That's good.
Wow.
It reminds me of a verse that when you were telling people about following Jesus, and just focusing on Jesus. And it was a verse about, I think it's in Matthew. See, this is how, even though I'm a pastor, but I don't remember the verse. See, I'm still human. But it says in Matthew, right, broad is the path that leads to destruction, but narrow is the road that leads to life, and that is Jesus. If your road and your focus is on just purely on Jesus, it leads to life. But if you're going to make your life with all the things that you want to do and maybe just a bit of Jesus, like you said, Christian atheist, then you're going to go into a destructive life, but come on.
So I heard something kind of like that. It wasn't the scripture verses, so you're holier than me. But
I'm not holy.
Surely I jest, friends. But it was,
Best
if
friends.
there's a highway to hell and a stairway to heaven, it kind of shows like what the traffic is going to look like. And so if the majority of people are going one way, just go the opposite. It's going to be weird, but I was saying this to a student last night. Be weird. Normal isn't working.
Yeah.
It's not.
In the kingdom of heaven, it's not, because everything in the kingdom of heaven is opposite.
Well. Right?
You remind me of my 5-year-old who talks about opposite day.
Opposite day. It's real, everybody. Opposite day is real.
Or is it not real? Sorry.
Oh.
It's distracting.
I have a question for you, Pastor Gary. It's a two-part question. What is the so-called lukewarm Christian, and do lukewarm Christians go to heaven?
The Bible uses very violent language when it talks about lukewarm Christian. Some of the Bibles, if you read it, it'll say something kind and polite, and I think it's because of the British, that if you are lukewarm, if you're neither cold nor hot, then he'll spew you out of his mouth. That just sounds like you take some water and you're like, oh, it's cold water, blah, or lukewarm water, blah. No, it's vomit. I'm going to vomit you out. Like that. If you want to disgust Christ, not discuss, but disgust him, be lukewarm. And what that really looks like is kind of the Christian atheist thing, towards you say you're one way, but really you're living a hypocritical life. And you're like, well, that's not me. Okay, well, do people know that you go to church and that you got baptized? Okay, so that means you need to live at a different standard. Why? Because Christ has called you to live at a different standard. That whole baptism thing, that was you are saying to the world that you are dead to your old life and now you're alive in your new life with Christ. So if you're still living your old life, still using your same old language, still listening to the same old songs, same music that is disrespectful to women, that talks negatively about parents, whatever it is, if you're listening to that, what you're saying is, I like my old life better. I want to go down to the highway to hell because it's easier for me. Don't take the easy way. The easy way is the lukewarm way. Did I answer your question, or did I just ramble?
No, that was spot on. And I know whenever you're a lukewarm Christian, it's hard to realize that you're a lukewarm Christian until you become a full Christian. You're like, wow, I was really not like living. I mean, I hear so many people all the time. It's like, I thought I was a Christian, but then when I was 16, 14, 18, even like 30, I was like, I really realized that I wasn't living for him. And so like you think you're going fine, you think you're going fine until like he just like. Until you finally realize that you're not. And so, like, how do you know if you're a lukewarm Christian? I mean, you kind of answer that, like listening to the old music, listening to just going back to your old ways, I guess.
I would even say too, if you're unwilling to share your faith with others, you're lukewarm. the first sign of a believer receiving the Holy Spirit is that they will tell anyone and everyone about Jesus no matter the cost. I saw something on my Instagram feed just this morning, and I re-shared it. It was talking about different disciples, like Matthew, for instance. He wrote the book of Matthew, so you might have heard of him. Gotcha. He had his skin peeled from his body while he was still alive. So for me, I think in those extremes, like if someone has gun to my face and say, hey, is Jesus, is he real? And is he your Lord? Am I willing to say yes? If I hesitate even, then it's like, you know what? I need to check my relationship with Christ. Because I said it last night.
Wow, that's tough.
Bro,
That's a real challenge for a lot of people.
It's a challenge for me. Oh, gosh. But I even said it last night. Many people will come to Jesus on the day of judgment, and they'll call him Lord, Lord. So they'll know the right phrases to say, and he'll go, depart from me, I never knew you. They're like, wait, didn't we do all this good stuff in your name? I went to church. I was one of the student leaders. Like, are you kidding me? And he says, I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of iniquity. Judas, one of Jesus' disciples, is in hell, and he performed miracles. So really, it's, do you have a religion or do you have a relationship? Because if it's a relationship, you're continually growing in a relationship.
That's right.
If your wife wrote you a letter, are you going to read it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So many of us were like, I don't want to read the Bible. It's boring. No, you're boring.
There you go.
Read the Bible. It's crazy awesome.
It's good.
I have a question, and this is like generally for anyone that wants to answer. It's we can go around, but it's idols. It's not even just like bowing down saying that you're my idol. Like it's like Netflix. Like sometimes you wake up and you go straight to Netflix, or you go straight to TikTok, wake up to your phone. Sometimes, honestly, it's just going straight to the gym, not even praising God for waking you up most of the times, or sports. So some people, like even me, I have like sometimes Netflix. Like Netflix was my baddest idol that I had to defeat. But kids that are out there, what do you have to say about overcoming the idols that are in your life or still in your life? Or I mean, you can start us off. And I mean, what do you have to say about just idols, like kids? I mean, I know it's hard in this generation
That's
too.
a good one. I'm going to get Pastor Gary. Pastor Gary is here for a reason, this one. No, I'm just kidding.
People are getting tired of hearing my voice. So it's all right.
Hey, you're here because that's why we're asking you all the questions. But I'll put in some input about that. To encourage everybody, this is also what I do to encourage myself. We had a staff meeting here at Victory Church, and it was a really good staff meeting. I think it reminded me one of the greatest things to overcome addictions, overcome things in my life, to stop, what's that word? Routines. To stop routines whenever you live your everyday life. And Pastor Oscar was saying to all of us as staff, what are we thankful for? You know, what can we be thankful for? Because we were in a season of worship here at Victory Church. So, and then it came on to the part where I want you, where Pastor Oscar was telling the whole staff, like, let's do a reminder of whatever way you can do. Put up a reminder that you can be thankful for what God did in your life, or thankful for what God has done in your life, or just be thankful to God. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do that. So what I did, I get on my phone. I set a reminder at every 9 a.m. to 9:15, just 15 minutes, and just be thankful for God. Like sometimes I'll be in the coffee shop at 9, or I'll be like going to work at 9, and I'll be like in my car, but on my way to the car, I have my alarm ringing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be thankful for something that God did in my life, and instead of just just going to work as a routine, or just going to a coffee shop early in the morning, or waking up and looking at my phone, I can see that there's a reminder that I need to be thankful for, and not just be hooked onto my everyday life routine, or Netflix, or using my phone to play Pokemon Go. But no, I put it aside, and yeah, there you go. That's the truth. There you go. Your pastor, see, that's how real I am. And just saying that, you know what? I'm gonna be thankful for what God has done in my life. I'm gonna stop doing what I need to do, and say, God, you are in charge of my routine. You're in charge of the things in my life, and I want to be thankful for that. Yeah, that's what
That's
I would.
good.
That's what I do. Yeah.
So for kids to get past idols, one, you have to first recognize what that idol is. For you recognize it was Netflix. We recognized that a while ago too. So we're like, hey, you know what? We're done. We're done with Netflix. Like canceled it. Like actually canceled, not just like we just won't watch it. No, and we canceled it because we were really good at watching it too.
Yeah.
Like Netflix was checking on us. Like, hey, you still watching it? Shut up. Yes, I am. Move on. So we stopped that. But it's first recognizing that idol. And an idol can literally be anything, just like you were saying. And how I see it is, am I seeking after this for my comfort? Am I seeking after this for my peace? Am I putting this and spending more time with this than I am with the Father? And if I am, then that's the thing that needs to be eradicated in my life. And I want to be aggressive about it. I want to, like, one thing that the Bible talks about is like flee, run, like fling off anything that's going to withhold you from running your race. So I look at that as like, okay, whatever this is, like I want to get rid of it. I want to do that. And I agree, like even with the gym, like some people, like y'all are motivated and you're disciplined. That's awesome. That's great. Go for it. But if it's first, like I'm going to go to the gym because I want to build up my temple so I just look good in the mirror. Okay. Yippee hooray. Like whatever, that's great. But instead, change it to where it's like, you know what? I'm going to invest in building up the strength in my body so that I can accomplish everything that God has for me.
Yeah.
That's a totally different response. And then you're like, okay, well, then God, I got to seek you. How do you want me to approach this? So even, like, we're not saying get rid of Netflix, get rid of TikTok. I would say get rid of TikTok. It's trash. But
Yes.
Yes.
but we're not saying necessarily get rid of all these things, but instead ask the Father, like, Father, how could you use me in this?
Yeah.
And is it causing me to draw closer to you? Like, one, I honestly think is relationships. Your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your friend circle. Are you willing, kind of going back to what you even saying, Preston, like, are you willing to lose all of those friends?
Yeah.
Lose that boyfriend, lose that girlfriend in order to be closer to God? It's worth it, and it's scary. I lost all my friends in college when I said yes to Jesus, all of them. But God showed himself faithful to me. So friends, whatever that idol is for you, throw it away. Run to the Father. He will show you what step you need to take next.
That's good.
And if you're going to wait for motivation to do it, listen, if everybody just relied on motivation to get their goals done, nobody would get it done. Because there's some days where you're not going to be motivated. You're not going to want to get out of bed and do it. Listen, it's discipline. Discipline is a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. So if you're saying, if you're trying to accomplish this idol, and you're like, okay, well, right now I can watch Netflix or I can go spend time with God. If that's what your goal is, you practice it. You practice it. You say, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do this. Then next time you keep doing it, and then it gets stronger and stronger until it becomes like a habit, like a good habit, as in like I don't need this anymore, and like I don't want this as much as I did. And those things aren't bad, but whenever they're separating you from God, or just like restraining how good your relationship can be with God, that's when it becomes an idol. So you gotta make like a commitment. Say, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna practice discipline. I'm gonna do this so that it gets stronger. And then, that's how you do. Recognizing it first. If you say, no, it's not an idol, then you're never gonna overcome it. So you gotta recognize it, and then you start building that discipline muscle and working until it's not an idol again.
It's good. That was good, man.
Fire.
100 upon 100.
I can't say 100 smooth. Like, I've tried. It's like 100. No,
100.
I sound like a white boy from Michigan.
Wow. Sorry if you're a white boy from Michigan.
He's from Michigan. He's from Michigan.
You're a white boy from Michigan.
See, we're best friends. We're not just great friends.
That's right.
We're best friends. Yeah, that's good. No, thank you, Pastor Gary.
Yes.
Thank you so much. If you have questions, put it down. Put it down on the YouTube channel, or message us on our Instagram channel at Victory Youth OKC. We can't promise you, but we'll try our best to answer your questions. And yeah, we'll get it done for you, and we'll pray for you, and we will hope that you will grow more intimate with a relationship with Jesus, and you get to answer your own faith towards people, and like this is what I believe. Yes, this is how God has touched my heart and how He has moved in my life, and you get to defend your faith and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a great session. Thank you, Pastor Gary.
Yeah,
Thank
for sure.
you.
So if this time here, it bless you, you loved it, go ahead and give us a like, hit subscribe, hit the little notification bell as well, so that way every time we put a post out, you guys get it. Put some comments down, because for real, we'll respond back. If you want to argue with me online about anything, let's go.
Or go on the fight ring.
Oh yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
We got a gym, guys.
We'll pay by per admission fee.
It's good. I like it. It's like a pay-per-view. To like raise money for you guys' mission
for missions trips. For people. Yeah. What weight division?
We're getting mouthy for missions.
Ooh, that's good.
Let's go. That's what we do, man. We fight for our.
Yes.
Low key, we're kidding. We're not doing that. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to get in trouble. We're not doing that. No, that was good. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for coming here. Victory Youth. We'll see you soon on the next episode. But yeah, I don't know what to do to
You guys
end.
have a catchphrase to like finish this thing out?
We usually sometimes sing. We usually sometimes pray. You know what? We haven't dance. Are we really gonna do that? What dance are we gonna do?
I don't know, but whatever you're doing, I'm very uncomfortable right now.
No, we'll see you, Victory Youth. Yeah, catch you on the next episode.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.